Imagine that each day of your life is a pristine blank canvas, and in your hand is a brush, not an ordinary one, but a symbol of every decision and choice you make throughout the day. The question is, what will you paint today? Every morning is a fresh start, a chance to change, to grow, to improve your mindset, and elevate the quality of your life. But remember, this doesn't happen by accident. You can't just sit still and hope for improvement. You have to actively create it. Life doesn't reward dreamers, it rewards doers. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned is this: success is not some mysterious force. It is simply the result of a series of small disciplines practiced consistently every single day. Conversely, failure doesn't happen overnight either. It is the outcome of small errors in judgment, repeated over and over without correction. Success and failure, two seemingly opposite directions, are actually separated only by small habits. What you choose to do or ignore each day determines whether you are climbing to the peak or sliding into the abyss. Don't wait for a dramatic transformation. Start with the smallest changes done consistently and persistently. Today, I'll share with you about 10 essential areas you should improve daily. We'll go through them quickly so you can take immediate action, because it's action, not empty theory, that transforms your life. The first and most fundamental area is your attitude. Attitude isn't just how you feel, it's how you see the world. It's the energy you carry each day. If you improve your attitude daily, even just a little, your whole life will begin to change, not instantly, but surely and deeply. Attitude is an invisible magnet. It can either pull opportunities towards you or push them away. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who's always negative? Someone who constantly complains, blames others, and looks for excuses instead of solutions? Do you feel drawn to work with them? Probably not. On the other hand, someone positive who sees light in the dark, who can smile even when the skies are gray, they are the magnets that attract opportunities, friendships, support, and success. So choose your attitude the way you choose your clothes each morning. A little gratitude, a little patience, a little faith, and you'll begin to see the world shift around you. But don't expect your attitude to change overnight. It's a journey, slow but steady. Each day you cultivate one small quality. Today it's gratitude, tomorrow it's resilience, the next day it's problem solving. Day by day you lay a brick in the foundation of a stronger, braver version of yourself. When your attitude changes, everything else changes with it. From your relationships to your work, to your mental well-being, everything is elevated to a new level. After attitude, the second thing you need to improve every day is communication skills. No one succeeds alone, and the world operates through the connections between people. Communication is the bridge that links you to the rest of the world. From chatting with friends, negotiating contracts, to communicating within your family, all of it requires you to understand to listen and to express yourself clearly and thoroughly. The better you are at communication, the more opportunities you'll have, the more support you'll receive, and the greater your influence will be. Now let me clarify something important. Communication is not just about talking. In fact, some of the most effective communicators are people who speak very little. They don't try to steal the spotlight. Instead, they choose to listen deeply with empathy, aiming to understand rather than simply to react. Effective communication is a two-way street. Not just the ability to clearly express your own thoughts, but also the ability to understand the thoughts, emotions, and needs of others. It's a skill you can improve every day. Maybe today you simply focus on becoming a slightly better listener. Tomorrow you practice expressing your ideas calmly and clearly without putting pressure on the other person. The day after, you take time to choose more thoughtful words when expressing your emotions. Each of these small actions, like refining the rough edges of a gemstone, will gradually make your communication style sharper, gentler, and more persuasive. And when you communicate better, you not only improve your relationships, you become someone with influence, someone who can lead more effectively and inspire others to take action. Think back to a time when you had a misunderstanding with someone just because your words weren't clear enough. Maybe you thought they meant one thing, but they were actually saying something entirely different. A small misunderstanding, if left unresolved, can grow into serious conflict. But if you improve your communication just a little every day, you'll avoid countless misunderstandings, resolve many conflicts, and build a solid foundation of trust in your relationships. Communication doesn't just help you be heard, it helps you connect, persuade, and grow. Next, we come to a foundation that is essential for any long-term success: self-discipline. Discipline is not something distant or rigid. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can have the biggest dreams, the grandest plans, and the most admirable talent, but without the discipline to sustain consistent action, all of it remains just a vision on paper. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you're not in the mood, when you're tired, when motivation is gone. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And you don't need to change overnight, just improve a little each day. Today, you discipline yourself to wake up 15 minutes earlier. Tomorrow, you push yourself to exercise whether it rains or shines. The day after, you focus on your work without slipping into your phone. These little things may seem insignificant, but over time, they stack up into habits, and habits shape destiny. Here's something worth pondering. Discipline doesn't rely entirely on willpower. It's the art of creating the right habits. When an action becomes a habit, it no longer requires effort. It happens automatically, like brushing your teeth every morning. Start today with one small action, then do another tomorrow. You don't have to be perfect, just persistent. Success doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from steady, consistent, and purposeful steps. For example, if you build a habit of reading 10 pages a day, you'll no longer struggle with willpower to keep learning. Once the habit is in place, discipline becomes light, almost automatic. Self-development stops feeling like a massive challenge and becomes a series of simple, repeated actions. And the miracle is it transforms you from within. I once knew a young man who was incredibly talented. He had all the qualities for success, but he lacked discipline. He started every project with burning passion, only to abandon it quickly when newer, more exciting ideas came along. As a result, he never finished anything, and his progress was completely stalled. One day I sat down with him and said bluntly, "You have to work on your self-discipline. You need to train yourself to stick with something to the end, even when it's boring, hard, or exhausting." He listened, and he started small, completing one small task at a time. Over time, he developed a new strength, solid discipline. Today, he's remarkably successful, and he often says that discipline was the key that unlocked every door in his life. We've talked about this many times, but if you find these stories helpful, leave a comment and share what you've learned. Or simply type the number 1 in the comments just so I know you're still with me. A small number, but a sign of your presence and your commitment to keep going on this growth journey. Now let's shift our focus from action to thought. Many of us are limited not by circumstances, but by the limiting beliefs in our minds. We think, I can't do this because I've never tried. Or worse, I'm not good enough. But remember, every belief is just a thought, and thoughts can be changed. Each day, replace one limiting belief with an empowering one. Instead of thinking, I can't try, saying I'm learning how to do it. Instead of thinking I'll never succeed, say I'm taking one step at a time on the path to success. Mindset is the foundation of all action. When you change how you see things, your entire world begins to shift. I remember a man who struggled deeply with his mindset. He viewed life through a negative lens. He saw obstacles as insurmountable and failures as the end. And that mindset kept him trapped inside his own mind. One day I told him, stop focusing on what's wrong and start focusing on what's possible. He listened. He began with small steps, reading a few pages of inspirational books each morning, writing down things he was grateful for each night, and learning to shift his attention from problems to solutions. Gradually, his mindset changed, and so did his life. He became more resilient, more confident, and more successful. And it all started with one simple thing: working on his mindset every day. Now let's talk about an essential element: time management. We all have 24 hours a day, no more, no less. But how we use that time is what makes the difference between someone who's just busy and someone who's truly making progress. Time is a precious asset. Once lost, it can't be reclaimed. So if you want to achieve something meaningful, you must learn how to manage your time wisely. The good news is, this is a skill you can improve daily. Today you might focus on clearly identifying your priorities. Tomorrow you practice eliminating distractions. The day after you work on saying no to things that don't serve your goals. Every small change in how you use your time adds up. Before you know it, you'll be getting more done in less time, and more importantly, you'll be focusing on what truly matters. Ask yourself, are you being busy without being effective? Are you spending time on things that don't matter, while the most important ones get neglected? Being busy is not the same as being productive. That's why time management is one of the most worthwhile skills you can develop. Here's a simple but powerful tip. Start each day with a clear plan. Take a few minutes in the morning to write down the 3 most important tasks you want to accomplish. Also identify which tasks you can delegate or eliminate. And here's the key, don't just schedule your work, schedule your rest too. Rest isn't laziness, it's a necessary condition for recharging energy and maintaining long-term endurance. Manage your time in a way that allows you to work effectively while still maintaining clarity, creativity, and joy in life. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with many people, and one of the most common challenges they face is time management. Many have told me, Jim, I don't have enough time to do everything. And my answer is always the same. You have exactly 24 hours a day, just like everyone else. The issue isn't that you need more time, it's how you use the time you already have. If you truly want to improve your life, start by improving how you manage your time each day. Time management isn't just a skill for busy people, it's a survival habit. Each day you improve a little, you'll start to notice your life becoming smoother. And it doesn't stop at time. Knowledge is also a valuable resource you need to invest in regularly. The world is constantly changing, and if you don't keep learning, you'll quickly be left behind. The more you know, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more value you can offer. And the more value you offer, the more rewards you deserve. So how can you continuously improve your knowledge each day? The answer is simple. Read, listen, and learn. Commit to learning at least one new thing every day. Today, it could be a professional article. Tomorrow, a personal development seminar. And the next day, a skills course. Every small investment in knowledge will compound over time, making you more informed, more adaptable, and better prepared for challenges ahead. Learning doesn't end when you graduate. In fact, that's when your real learning journey begins. Formal education may help you make a living, but self-education will help you build wealth. I once knew a man named Mr. Shaw, one of the smartest people I've ever met. His success didn't come from luck, but from his commitment to learning every single day. One time he told me, Jim, the more you learn, the more you earn. I took that advice to heart and began reading books, listening to tapes, attending seminars, anything that could help me grow my knowledge. And you know what? He was absolutely right. The more I learned, the more opportunities came my way. The same will be true for you if you start today. Next, remember this, there is never a right time to ignore your personal finances. Finances don't happen by chance, they're the result of the decisions you make every day. Whether you're trying to get out of debt, build wealth, or simply seek financial security, it all begins with small, consistent changes. The truth is, most people know how to make money, but not how to keep it. And so no matter how much they earn, they remain financially stressed. The good news is you can change that with just a little effort each day. Today you track your expenses, tomorrow you create a simple budget, and the next day you start saving or investing a small amount. These small steps will gradually add up until one day you find yourself in control of your finances rather than being controlled by them. Wealth doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how much you keep. Some people make a lot of money but spend uncontrollably, while others earn a modest income yet still manage to invest, save, and build financial stability. The reason they understand and practice basic financial principles that anyone can learn. You don't need to be a financial expert to take control of your personal finances. You just need to start with small but wise decisions every day. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard is spend less than you earn and invest the rest. It sounds simple, but it's an incredibly powerful principle. If you live by it, you'll gradually secure your financial future. However, here's the core truth: it requires discipline. It requires the ability to say no to today's short-term pleasures so you can say yes to tomorrow's financial freedom. Tomorrow starts today, and the great news is you can begin with just one small step, training yourself to make smarter financial decisions. Learn how to manage money wisely, spend with intention, and actively invest in your future. Have you ever looked at your bank statement and wondered, where did all my money go? If that question comes up, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Not a dramatic overhaul, but a beginning with small, consistent steps, a daily saving habit, a more thoughtful purchasing decision, a clearer financial plan. Now let's move on to the most important journey: self-development. Life is a continuous flow of change and growth. If you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. Each day that passes is a new opportunity to become a better version of yourself, not necessarily a perfect one, but a more evolved one. Self-development isn't just about learning new things, it's about training the way you think, act, and respond to life. This is a lifelong journey you cannot afford to miss. Maybe today you start by increasing your self-awareness, understanding your strengths, weaknesses, habits, and behavioral patterns. Tomorrow you learn a new skill that supports your career or enhances your quality of life. The next day, you build emotional intelligence, learning how to manage emotions, foster positive relationships, and communicate more effectively. Small steps taken consistently over time will gradually bring you closer to the person you have always believed you could become. One of the most powerful drivers of personal growth is goal setting. Set clear, specific, and challenging goals, but make sure they align with your core values, passions, and ideals. It's not just about achieving more. It's about becoming more, becoming the kind of person capable of achieving those goals. Each day you can set small goals, reading one chapter of a book, practicing a new habit for 10 minutes, or simply reflecting on your growth and adjusting your direction if necessary. Equally important, personal growth isn't just about adding more, it's also about letting go. Sometimes in order to grow, you need to release old habits, outdated beliefs, and negative thought patterns that are holding you back. True development is an ongoing process. You are constantly learning, changing, and evolving. And you'll begin to see that the more committed you are to this process, the more every area of your life improves, from your work, finances, to your relationships and inner emotional world. One of the most profound truths about personal growth is this: you attract what you become. If you want success, act like someone who is successful. Develop the habits, mindset, and lifestyle of a successful person. If you long for meaningful relationships, become someone worthy of those relationships. It all starts with improving yourself just a little each day. More discipline, more focus, more positivity, and more persistence. That is the path to true transformation. Now let's talk about the most essential thing: living with purpose. Purpose is the lighthouse that guides your life. It's the reason you get up in the morning, the energy that keeps you going even when things get tough. But if you haven't yet discovered your purpose, don't worry. Purpose isn't something you find overnight, it's something you explore and nurture over time. Each day you can spend time reflecting on what truly matters to you. Tomorrow you might take one small action that moves you closer to your dream, and the next day you adjust your actions to better align with your core values. When you live in alignment with your purpose, everything begins to fall into place. Work becomes more meaningful, relationships grow deeper, and challenges turn into opportunities for growth. Purpose is the foundation for building a fulfilling life, and you can work on it every single day. Believe this: every step you take today, no matter how small, can lead you toward a greater and more meaningful tomorrow. I once met a man who had everything: money, success, fame. On the surface, it seemed like he had reached the peak that many dream of. But when I looked deeper, I saw something entirely different. He was deeply unhappy. There was always something missing inside him, something that made him feel empty and anxious, and he couldn't understand why. One day we sat down and had a raw, honest conversation. I asked him a simple yet powerful question: what is your purpose? Why are you doing all of this? He went silent, not because the question was too hard, but because he had never truly thought about it. He had spent his entire life chasing success, but had forgotten the original reason that set him on the journey in the first place. He had been running so fast for so long that he no longer knew where he was running to. I told him, you need to find your purpose, and when you find it, live it every single day. And you know what? He listened. From that moment on, he began to change. He returned to what truly mattered, helping others, creating value, and living a meaningful life. His entire life was transformed. He found happiness, fulfillment, and a sense of peace he had never known before. It all began with living on purpose. Now, here is one of the most important lessons I want to share with you: gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions a person can cultivate. It's more than just a feeling, it's a way of living. When you're grateful, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. That shift in perspective is the first step toward transforming your entire life. You don't need much time to practice gratitude, just a few minutes each day. Maybe today you thank the people who have stood by your side. Tomorrow you feel grateful for your health, your home, or the work you have. And the day after that, give thanks even for the challenges that have made you stronger. When you're grateful, your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance. Over time, you'll notice your entire worldview changes. Even on your worst days, when everything feels like it's against you, there's always something to be grateful for. Maybe it's a lesson from a mistake or the strength you discovered in hardship. Gratitude turns even the darkest moments into something meaningful. And here's the beautiful thing. The more grateful you are, the more you find to be grateful for. It's like a snowball. Each day you practice, the snowball grows, gathering more positivity, happiness, and contentment. Best of all, when you live in gratitude, you begin to attract more of what makes you grateful. A positive cycle is created. You don't just feel better, you want to be better. You want to give back to help others, to create a positive impact. That's why I believe gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's an action. When you turn gratitude into a daily habit, not only does your outlook on life change, your behavior changes too. You become gentler, more patient, more generous, and more compassionate. You stop living in fear of not having enough. Instead, you begin to live in a state of abundance of joy, sufficiency, and inner peace. And I tell you this from real experience. Living in abundance is one of the greatest transformations you can create in your life. Remember this. Gratitude is like a muscle. To make it strong, you need to exercise it every day. Take a little time each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. They don't have to be grand or world-changing. Maybe today you are grateful for the warm sunlight streaming through your window, tomorrow for a full meal on your table, and the next day for the valuable lessons from the challenges you've overcome. Whatever it may be, big or small, find at least one thing to be grateful for each day. Because what matters isn't the size of what you're grateful for, but the act of practicing gratitude itself. That intentional practice is the key to deep transformation in your mindset and your life. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring hardship or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Life brings challenges, sometimes extremely difficult ones. But when you practice gratitude, you build an inner strength, a resilience that helps you face those challenges with calm and clarity. You learn to say, yes, this is really hard, but I'm grateful that I have the strength to get through it. Gratitude shifts your focus away from what's wrong, from what's lacking, and brings your attention to what's working right in your life. It energizes you, fuels your courage, and broadens your perspective, helping you move forward even when the road is rough. I remember a woman I once knew. She went through an incredibly difficult time. She lost her job, her relationship ended, and she felt abandoned and lost. Every day was a struggle for her. Until one day we sat down and talked. I told her, you need to find something, anything to be grateful for, even in the middle of the storm. At first, she thought it was impossible, but she began with very small things. Each day, she wrote down just one thing she was grateful for. And little by little, her worldview began to change. She started seeing opportunities where before she only saw crisis. She rebuilt her life, and today she's happier and more successful than ever. She told me, everything began with gratitude. And you know what? Gratitude has a beautiful quality. It spreads. When you're grateful, people around you feel it. The way you see life positively and hopefully inspires them to see the good in their own lives. Your generosity encourages others to be more generous. Your appreciation for life can help pull someone out of the negative thoughts holding them back. That's why I truly believe, When you practice gratitude every day, you're not only transforming your own life, you're also making a positive impact on the lives of those around you. And that really is the greatest power of gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on your life right now. Think about the areas we've talked about: attitude, communication, discipline, relationships, mindset, time management, finances, personal growth, purpose, and gratitude. Now ask yourself, how many of these areas could improve if you invested just a little bit of time each day? What would your life look like if you committed to making small but consistent changes every day? Remember, the key to lasting change doesn't lie in a dramatic leap. It lies in small, steady steps taken every day. That's where the real magic happens. That's where transformation begins. I've seen this happen time and time again with people who chose to focus on the process instead of obsessing over the results. They improved themselves just a little each day, and over time they achieved extraordinary things. Why? Because success is not an instant event. It's the natural result of the small disciplines repeated consistently. So let me ask you, what is one small thing you can improve today? Is there an area in your life where you can begin applying these principles right now? Maybe it's your finances, taking a closer look at your spending habits and making one small adjustment. Maybe it's your relationships, sending someone a genuine message of appreciation. Or maybe it's as simple as waking up 10 minutes earlier to reflect and practice gratitude. Whatever it may be, start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until everything is just right to take action. Start with what you have right where you are. And then improve just a little every single day. Each day, I want you to ask yourself a simple yet powerful question. What small thing can I do today to begin building discipline for myself? Is there any area of your life where you can start improving little by little, day by day? Remember, change doesn't have to be huge or perfect right away. What matters most is consistency and perseverance over time. Those small actions, when repeated, will gradually build into strength and transformation far beyond what you ever imagined. Before you know it, you'll be standing in a place you never thought you could reach. And never forget the power of purpose. It's the meaning behind all your daily efforts at self-improvement. Purpose is what keeps you moving forward even when things get tough. When you have a clear purpose, everything else begins to fall into place. Your discipline becomes stronger, your gratitude deepens, and your inner drive becomes unstoppable. But here is the important thing you need to remember. Purpose is not something someone else will hand you or tell you. Purpose is something you must discover, nurture, and develop yourself over time. Like everything we have talked about, it is something you can improve day by day, building step by step. Maybe today you spend a few minutes reflecting on what truly matters to you. Tomorrow you take a small step to adjust your actions to better align with that core value. And the next day you begin to find ways to serve others and make a difference in their lives. Each small step brings you closer to a meaningful, fulfilling life, a life with true purpose. When you live with purpose, every other aspect of life becomes deeper, richer, and more worthwhile than ever before. I want you to remember this when you go home. Life is a journey, not a destination. And that journey is built from the small steps you take each day. Each day is an opportunity for you to become a little better than the person you were yesterday. When you commit to improving yourself in every area of life, you will realize that the perseverance of the journey itself is the most valuable reward. So today, what will you improve? What small, consistent action will you take to move closer to the life you desire? Remember, it's not about one giant leap, but one small step once a day. When you maintain this, you will be amazed at what you can achieve over time. That is the real secret of success, not luck, not innate talent, nor simply hard work, but small disciplines, daily improvements, and the small choices you decide to make every day. And you know what? Those choices are in your own hands. I hope you remember this and believe that when you start focusing on small improvements each day, you will see wonderful and astonishing changes in your life. Keep going, don't give up, and always improve little by little. Remember, success is not something you chase. It is something you attract by the person you become. This is a powerful principle that can transform your life one small step at a time. I hope these words have given you deep insights into how to improve every area of your life, from mindset, relationships, finances, to personal growth, and beyond. So up to this point, what have you learned? What impressed you the most? And you want to practice? I would love to hear your plans and thoughts. Please share your feelings in the comments below this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's continue to improve, grow, and perfect ourselves every day. See you in the next video.